How many deputy mayors were involved in a criminal organization exposed in Odesa? What bribe was the head of the state medical service offered and who was caught red-handed? Which assets of the fugitive Ukrainian ex-president were confiscated? Hello, I am Svetlana Olifira, NABU spokesperson. You are watching our December news digest. Here we go. A year ago, NABU and SAPO exposed a criminal organization in Odesa. It ceased to exist, but a new one emerged instead. It established control over the financial flows and property of the local community. In order for everything to go smoothly, the deputies of the local council were involved and paid. NABU and SAPO exposed the scheme and served suspicion notices on 6 persons, including 3 deputy mayors. The investigation is ongoing. Brazen top corruption schemes are always there. In 2012, a deputy of the Kyiv Regional Council and a future MP took a 200 million hryvnia loan from the bank for the construction of a multi-apartment residential complex. The deal was secured by the complex itself, land plots and personal guarantees. The bank was later declared insolvent and the lawmaker decided to cede the right of claim on the loan. To this end, he involved several top officials. As a result, a company under MP's control bought the right of claim for 128 million hryvnias for just 16 million hryvnias through an illegal auction. So far, 8 participants in the scheme have been notified of suspicion. The investigation continues. Last summer, NABU and SAPO exposed the embezzlement of seized property worth more than 426 million hryvnias. It included land plots, sand, grain and other stuff that the Asset Recovery and Management Agency had to effectively sell or lease. However, it didn't and sold the assets for nothing to a predetermined company. The cost was sometimes underestimated by 18 times. 5 persons became suspect then and 3 more added up later. In December, NABU and SAPO established that the scheme was implemented by an organized criminal group and tracked down its organizer. He and 3 other persons became suspects as well. More to follow. More top officials become whistleblowers. The head of the Medicines and Drugs Control Service was offered $10,000 for issuing a permit to quickly import precursors and narcotics into Ukraine. He reported the offer to NABU and the perpetrator was exposed. After the investigation is over, he will face a fair trial. The case of a runaway oligarch who managed a unit of the fugitive ex-president's criminal organization comprises as many as 700 volumes. The owner of the so-called East European Fuel and Energy Company took hold of the assets of several public enterprises and banking institutions worth more than 12 billion hryvnias. Despite numerous delays by the defense, the case was finally sent to court. And what about the fugitive ex-president's case? In December, it was also referred to the High Anti-Corruption Court. The case of the fugitive ex-president and his son is about misappropriating the Mezhigirya residence, which once used to be a public asset. Both persons are under arrest in absentia. If found guilty, they will face imprisonment from 7 to 15 years with confiscation of property. By the way, part of the assets seized in the case of the fugitive ex-president and his son were confiscated in December as well. The list includes a recreation and health center, a house of more than 800 square meters, an apartment and underground parking lots, a ship, 537 historical, cultural and material items worth more than 18.7 million euros. All this will now serve the public benefit. Let's proceed to the sentences. Ex-director of Ukrmedprojekt Bud Public Enterprise and her accomplice, the ex-director of Ukrprofmed LLC, were sentenced to 5 and 4 years respectively. The High Anti-Corruption Court found them guilty of causing 30 million hryvnia damage to the Children's Hospital Ohmad-Did. The court also satisfied the civil lawsuit of the Public Enterprise and ordered the culprits to recover the damage in full. The Supreme Court found the judge of the Brovary Court, Hanna Bile, guilty of bribery and sentenced her to 6 years in prison with confiscation of property. Interestingly, after the verdicts of the first instance and the appeal court, the judge, taking advantage of Russia's full-scale invasion, went into hiding. However, in November 2022, she was tracked down and sent to a pre-trial detention center. Another judge, Anton Haidur, was found guilty by the Supreme Court of receiving 15,000 hryvnias for taking a decision in favor of a plaintiff in a civil case. The punishment includes 5 years of imprisonment, confiscation of all property, and deprivation of the right to hold the position of a judge for 3 years. Thanks to NABU and SAPO's work, the armed forces of Ukraine again received financial support. It is about 113 million hryvnias and more than $684,000 seized within the investigation into corruption at the customs. While the hryvnias were spent on military bonds, the dollars were deposited into the national bank account opened within the global initiative of the President of Ukraine, United 24, for Ukraine's defense needs. Since the start of Russia's all-out aggression, over 1.2 billion hryvnias have been sent to the needs of the Ukrainian military through NABU and SAPO's efforts. December marked a year since the launch of the e-case management system. It is intended to digitalize NABU and SAPO's pre-trial investigation and rid detectives of tons of paper. So far, 306 criminal proceedings have been uploaded to the e-case system. This was the December top news from NABU. Check our website for more exposures, investigations and cases in court, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter. Thank you for watching and see you in the next videos. Stand with Ukraine!